Hang it up, hang it up. I'm not being biased. If I'm 100, if Tank got his ass whooped, I'm gonna say, you know what? He got his ass whooped.
You know, that Tank was older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do. Take us the rest of the way.
This former world champion boxer is accusing Gervonta Davis of ruining the sport.
Floyd Mayweather has revealed the reason behind Gervonta Davis's decline, stating that Tank's latest fight against Lamont Roach clearly shows he has lost his spark and the determination to remain one of the world's elite boxers.
His ass whooped. Easy fight from what I see. And did the guy come out aggressive? I say it probably was 4 rounds the guy could have got, but 8 rounds he's getting outboxed. Turn. The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is not slugging, because when the fight game is over, when boxing is all over, and you hang it up like me.
In the meantime, Davis publicly expressed in an interview that he feels Floyd Mayweather never wanted any fighter to surpass him. This perspective highlights Davis's belief about Mayweather's stance on potential successors in boxing. The relationship between a mentor and a rising star can be complex, especially when the protege's success begins to challenge that of the mentor. According to Davis, this tension is driven by competition and the need to protect one's legacy.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. Why the say Terrence Crawford should fight? Shouldn't be there. That don't make no fucking sense. He don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
He's next in line. He's next in line.
Is there like a
last question, guys?
Is there like a love-hate Floyd or like
yeah,
fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And,
good, man.
And he
Outfield too.
cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Agree by claiming that Tank has ruined boxing. Mal's statement reflects a broader debate about the sport's current state and how modern fighters influence it. Such criticisms are often fueled by concerns over boxing's commercialization and its apparent shift away from traditional values. Melly's opinion adds to the ongoing discussion regarding the future of modern boxing.
Former world champion boxer is accusing Gervonta Davis of ruining the sport. What do you guys think? And who do you think the former world champion is? It's none other than Paulie Malignaggi, or I don't know how to say his name, honestly. I just know that he had that whole thing with Conor McGregor, and then he couldn't even beat Artem Lobov in bare knuckle boxing. So take his words with a grain of salt. But obviously, I do agree with him to some extent. Gervonta Davis has all the skills in the world, but he's not taking the most competitive fights, you know? Lamont Roach, if he had made 4 or 5 defenses at 135, you'd be selling me a little bit. I'd be curious. But no, you're just recycling the same champion. You're not even progressing. You're killing the sport to line your pockets. I defend the sport. I want the best matchups possible. You're not going to entertain me with the B-level matchups just because they're pay-per-views, which makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? I'm not paying for it. You know, I'm going to stream it like I would think most people are. But yeah, Gervonta Davis, I wouldn't say he's ruining the sport. I think Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport because every boxer after him just wants to get the easiest fight with the most amount of money.
For according to analysts, Floyd Mayweather was envious of Tank Davis. This claim implies that their relationship may have faced difficulties, and that Mayweather's competitive nature might have influenced his role as a mentor beyond the ring. Jealousy between mentors and proteges can surface, particularly when a mentor's legacy feels threatened by the growing stardom of their protege.
You actually need to be thankful that your product got pushed out there, because had it not been, Tank might have been fighting in rinky-dink boxing clubs, bruh. We may have never got the opportunity to know who Tank Davis really was. So let's go ahead and start there. Now, Tank, early on, you heard him. He only getting about 10 racks a fight. Floyd is making it to where, yeah, I'm going to get your mama out this hood, but I'm going to have you on your knees crawling back to me. You feel me? You're going to have to get in where you fit in to really earn this bag the same way I did. But what I think was happening was I think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was getting a little tad bit jealous of Tank. He saw the potential. He knew what dude was capable of. And when you got a fighter like Tank Davis, you don't put him in a position to take a L. You put him in a position to win every fight, to grow the brand. Ultimately, this is your product. Ultimately, you're getting money off of this.
Many fans were left disappointed and started questioning Gervonta Davis's boxing abilities after his fight with Roach. A critic noted that Davis struggled significantly against a relatively unknown fighter, raising doubts about his skill level and preparedness. This unexpected showing has sparked debates about Davis's training regimen and future prospects, leading both analysts and fans to reevaluate their expectations for his career trajectory.
So Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach goes to a majority decision draw, with Tank retaining his WBA lightweight title. Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach 4 the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach 1 more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. Lamont Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. Landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. He definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Raya Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight though.
The boxing world has observed a clear double standard regarding career moves. Floyd Mayweather's decision to part ways with Bob Arum's promotion was widely accepted. Yet Gervonta Davis's attempt to do the same was labeled as disrespectful. This contrast highlights the challenges fighters face when making career choices. The differing reactions suggest that a boxer's reputation and the narratives built around them shape how their decisions are perceived in the industry.
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it because he knows. Like, I'm not just going to say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth. And I think it will serve him best to go and be his own boss.
Then Adrian Broner revealed that Gervonta Davis privately shared his dissatisfaction with the level of support he received. While Broner refrained from disclosing details, he hinted that Davis had concerns about his career from the start. These frustrations could impact a fighter's mental state and in-ring performance, emphasizing the importance of a strong support system in professional sports.
No, I haven't talked to him about it, but we talked about it before. We talked about it a few times, but now that he is doing his own thing, I hope the best for him. I hope he is as big as the world. I don't care, I just want to do good.
He keeps alluding that there was something wrong there, that he wasn't happy with the support that he was getting. Is there something there from what he's saying, from what your relationship with him?
That's not really for me to come out and talk about. I'll wait until he's comfortable with saying and letting people know his business. But now that he's on his own, I hope he blow up.
By publicly sharing his financial earnings from fights, Gervonta Davis has broken a long-standing tradition. In boxing, something Floyd Mayweather had always kept private. Davis's decision is a statement of transparency and independence, challenging the sport's usual secrecy surrounding financial matters.
A lot of you guys are talking about what Gervonta Tank Davis said, talking about him pricing himself out, saying that he won 150 M's for his rematch with Ryan Garcia. Y'all want to know what I think about that whole video? It looks like Gervonta is on the outskirts. Listen, man, where everything is happening, dude, all these fights are being made over there. It just looks like Gervonta is on the outskirts looking for the perfect op. But at the same time, talking about how big of a brand he is, how much of a product he is, how much he's worth, 150 M's. You know what I mean? I get all that, but here's the thing. What I've been trying to say, us as boxing fans, we're very satisfied with the product we're getting. We get a lot of crazy matchups. And I'm going to tell you this again. The money isn't in the superstar, it's in the matchups. Case in point, Devin Haney, a product by himself. Many people, it's proven that he's not a big pay-per-view star, right? But Devin versus Ryan Garcia is a big fight. Devin versus Teofimo Lopez is a big fight. You get what I'm saying?
Follow after their split. Gervonta Davis described Floyd Mayweather's treatment of him as toxic, suggesting that Mayweather's actions negatively impacted his growth both personally and professionally. The term toxic implies a harmful environment that hindered Davis's progress. Such claims can influence public perception and shed light on the struggles athletes face in maintaining professional relationships.
Like, I gotta do that.
A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said.
So you feel like it was a sub? Like he was subbing you? Like, oh, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause it's, I feel like y'all got, I wouldn't say love hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like, you know, is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you?
No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him. And I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of
deal. He don't know about that yet. But that's bigger than his deal.
Damn. Wow.
And I'm just releasing
this
it.
Exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal?
Yeah.
Ain't no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread.
Fans and media. Outlets speculated about the underlying reasons behind the rift between Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis as their disputes became more public. According to Sean Porter's breakdown of the situation, a mix of personal accusations, financial conflicts, and professional disagreements created a complex story that captivated the boxing community.
It's public knowledge that Tank and Mayweather have had issues. It's public knowledge that they're not in the contract anymore. And it's public knowledge that Tank has moved on and is trying to, for the sake of words, separate himself from the umbrella of being under Mayweather. But Mayweather was there. Mayweather was there. Why wasn't? No. It wasn't because you wasn't trying to take away from a moment. It was because you weren't sure what that moment was going to look like.
The observers have questioned the caliber of Gervonta Davis's opponents, suggesting that his promotional team may have deliberately set up favorable matchups. This approach could limit Davis's exposure to tougher challenges, potentially hindering his development as a fighter. Critics argue that a boxer's legitimacy and growth rely on facing and conquering more formidable opponents.
Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds. But if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in those later rounds. But he's very stiff and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds, but if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him.
Coach Calvin Ford has played a crucial role in Gervonta Davis's boxing career from the very beginning. As both his mentor and trainer, Ford's consistent guidance has shaped Davis into the formidable fighter he is today. His influence extends beyond technical training, emphasizing discipline, strategy, and mental resilience.
Being as well as your boxing progress, who you have been invested with from the outset. Tank has been with Coach Calvin Ford since he was, I think 8 or 9, which is crazy. And the relationship that those two have is an enormous factor. Tank trusts Coach Calvin to give him the right advice, and that has been proven to be a good position, a good place to put your trust, because as of yet, he hasn't given any bad advice. He's very calm in the corner. He knows when to tell Tank to turn it up. He gives him understandable advice, and he gives him very simple advice in the corner.
According to Calvin Ford, their journey was intense, but now that Tank has moved on, it feels like the end of an era. His words suggest a shift or closure in their professional relationship. Ford's remarks may indicate a transition in their dynamic or a new direction for Davis's career. Such changes are common in sports, where evolving circumstances require adjustments in training methods and mentorship. Asterisk.
My journey's crazy. That's why I said this, yo, you can't write this, man. You cannot write this. My experience being gone and all the stuff that I went through preparing me for where I'm at today. You know, man, Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do to take us the rest of the way. And this is his take us the rest of the way fight.
Despite his success, opinions on Tank Davis's standing in the boxing world remain divided. Some critics argue that casual fans, who may not grasp the sport's nuances, tend to overrate him. Conversely, boxing purists who recognize his technical abilities believe he is undervalued. This contrast highlights the subjectivity of sports evaluations and the varying criteria used to judge athletes. Fans and analysts continue to engage in heated debates about Davis's career.
He said Tank,
he's still on the air?
He said Tank is...
Hey, yo, they did Max Kellerman dirty for real, but go ahead, bro.
He said Tank is overrated by people that don't know boxing, and he's underrated by people that do know boxing. And
that's buzz.
What he meant by that,
that's buzz. I agree with that.
What he meant by that is that if you don't know boxing, you don't know who's Tank.
Gervonta Davis has expressed frustration with boxing, calling it trash and admitting he no longer cares about titles or accolades. The shift in mindset has led him to consider leaving the sport earlier than expected. His feelings highlight the intense pressures professional athletes face and the difficulty of maintaining passion amid constant challenges.
So realistically, how much longer do you see yourself being a fighter? How many more years you think?
It depends. I got some people I want to get.
Like who?
I don't want to say their names, but
just say yes or no. Haney?
Yes.
Lomachenko?
Yes.
Teofimo?
Yes. Not really so much Teofimo.
Not so much.
Nah.
How come?
Cause it's like, I don't know. Just he ain't really like. I mean, if the fight like prevents itself, then yeah. But other than that,
it's not on your list.
Yeah, it's not on my. He's not.
Kambosos? No. Is there anyone I'm missing, or is that it?
Yeah, but I don't want to say his name.
Shakur?
Yeah.
That's another one.
At a relatively young age, Tank Davis has come to recognize the importance of mental health and the necessity of stepping back when needed, even if it means walking away from the sport he once loved. His openness reflects a growing awareness among athletes about prioritizing mental well-being. By speaking candidly about his struggles, Davis may inspire others to put their health first and seek support when necessary.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment being the father. So shout out for Tank Davis. That's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in the angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light whereas we've been maybe in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness got us to success, right? So like Tank Davis obviously became successful, put in the anger towards boxing, but now he's on this next level of life and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.
Thank you to everyone who watched this video.